What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. You might be thinking, Andrew, like, what is going on? 2 videos in 1 week. Changed man. So get used to it. I might disappear for another quarter, but we'll see. All right. This video, I want to talk about financial modeling and goal setting and how to actually hit your goals and revenue projections in home service or just really in any business in general. And I'm going to milk this Miro board for a very long time because my little remarkable thing, I couldn't find my pen. My pen is gone. So you're stuck with a Miro board and maybe a whiteboard if I get one of those this week. That's on my to-do list for tomorrow. Anyway, financial modeling. So going into last season, we financial modeled a couple of different scenarios. Base case at 300,000 all the way up to 750,000 and kind of reverse engineered everything leading up to sort of what needed to happen essentially for us to hit those goals, right? So what needed to go through the top of the funnel to get all the way to the bottom and pump out, $750,000 in revenue, which obviously did not happen. But we knew what needed to happen to make that happen, right? So we can kind of prepare accordingly, spend accordingly, hire accordingly, have all of the different systems in place and prepared, ready to go when things get absolutely crazy. Anyway, I'm going to walk you through how we did that and what you need to do to be able to do that for your company and yourself. So if you have any sort of goal, whether that be for Christmas lights or home service or really anything, let's say you want to do, $500,000 of window cleaning sales, you can't just like go into it and be like, oh yeah, I want to do $500,000 and then just kind of like just wake up every day and do whatever you feel like doing, right? Like there's certain thing like scenario like metrics and KPIs that you need to hit, and certain things need to happen for you to hit $500,000, right? And so our goal, like my goal for myself and my goal with this video, is so that you know what inputs you need to do to make it unreasonable for you not to hit that goal, right? That's what like that's the sort of like objective of sort of financial modeling and kind of running through exercises like these, is so you can say, hey, I'm not going to make an output goal like, yeah, sure, I want to do $500,000, I want to do 2 million, whatever it is in revenue, but your goal is actually like the inputs that make it unreasonable for that not to happen. And for us last year, the big thing was ad spend. Like we knew sort of, and I'll tell you where everything fell apart. And the cool thing about financial modeling is you can see the exact part of the like funnel where things sort of fall apart. Like if you have like something like this right here, and you are not getting the expected result or outcome, you can essentially look at what KPI is falling behind and fix that. So you're not sort of like shooting blanks, operating in the dark, fixing something that doesn't need to be fixed. I talk to guys all the time that are just like working, and you'll hear this a million times. It's like a fucking business platitude. Like people not working on the bottleneck, right? They're working on the things that they like to work on that just have absolutely no push in the business because like it's unnecessary. Like the water is flowing very freely through that section of the pipe. When there's a section of the pipe, early on or further down the line where it's like being constricted very tightly and nothing can get through. And they pay absolutely no attention. I'm guilty of this too. Like everyone is at some point. But we want to sort of, avoid that. So for us, I'm going to run through and this isn't super detailed. This was just kind of like from an acquisition standpoint and a little bit of fulfillment as well. Get super, super nitty gritty with this on literally every single section of like a funnel or like a pipeline. So like, we have $300,000 right here. That's going to be $5,000 a day. Or I'll start sort of this top. So $300,000 in revenue, assuming a $2,000 AOV, and any part of this can be untrue or change or fluctuate throughout the season. Like if our AOV happened to be fit, and 2,000 was very conservative, mind you, like we ended up at like 2,500. So you want to be conservative with these KPIs and kind of adjust accordingly as, things progress. But like, for example, if we're going through the season and our AOV is at 1,500, like the entire rest of the funnel has to be adjusted. Like we can hit all of the other numbers, flawlessly, and we're not going to get our like end result because, this one metric, very important metric right here, isn't what we expected it to be. So, I tend to be conservative, when I'm modeling this out. But, we modeled a $2,000 AOV. Again, it came in at 2,500. That's going to be 150 installs. I think we did like 121. And again, just under 300,000. At a 50% close ratio for in-person appointments, it's going to be 300 appointments. Unfortunately, I don't have our appointments or kind of raw leads handy, but I know for a fact it was a lot less than 900 because we tightened up quality. We put a lot of like good filtering in place. So like last year, I think we had like just under 1,100 like raw leads / inquiries. Now keep in mind, most of those are dog shit. They're just going to be automatically filtered out through like a pre-qual process. But we kind of like front loaded that and put that, more in the messaging, more earlier on. So like they couldn't even reach a human being before they were qualified, which made everything significantly easier from an operational standpoint. But, so like if you look at this, right, I think we actually had significantly less than 15 leads a day too. Which came down to this right here. So this changed, just 33% conversion rate because we had like tighter filtering. So 15 leads a day, that's 6 appointments a day, 3 installs a day, and $5,000 a day in revenue. All right. Now, the problem becomes, how do we get 15 leads a day? It's not, how do we do $300,000? It's all the way at the top. Like, how do we get 15 leads a day? And that becomes a much more digestible and manageable problem to solve. Because you're zooming in, right, on a daily time frame at just the very top of the funnel. We're like, okay, what do I need to do to ensure that the stuff comes out the bottom, right? So you can see, right here, now we're sort of modeling acquisition costs. And we had all of our numbers from last year. It becomes a little bit more difficult if you have absolutely no data to work off of. But from the year prior, our CAC was $220, which again, is where things kind of fell apart this season, as our CAC was like $480 this year. So it more than doubled, which is just fucking absurd. It's such a fun problem to have. But see, our CAC like doubled. But anyway, if we're modeling off of last year's CAC, $220, and we need 150 installs up year with a $2,000 AOV to reach $300,000. That means we need to spend $33,000. And this is for new revenue, by the way, too. This is not accounting for reinstalls, right? So like this is just like new produced revenue. $220 CAC, 150 new installed. Which we ended up spending $40,000 to produce like $210,000 in new revenue, which is evident by our new CAC. And then I broke that down here. Okay, based on sort of what everything looked like last year, here's how we're gonna divvy up spend. We maxed out Google. Like we at all points of the season told Google to spend as much money as you would like. Just blank check, please take my cash. And we only spent like $6,000. I would have given Google 20. I would have given Google fucking $40,000. But unfortunately, there's only so much, search volume, especially in our service area is 200,000. Did I say search area? Our service area is 200,000 people. I don't know the actual statistics, but I'm in a college town that has 45,000 undergrads living here. So it's small. Not a lot of people are searching for Christmas lights. So we can only spend 6 there. We spent $20,000 on Meta. I don't know where, $50 a day, 90 days. I don't know where maybe, I don't know. My math is not mathing right now in my brain. And then we spent, technically like 3,700 on yard signs. And then we had like 400 or 500 left over from last year. So that was another, $3 a sign, like 1,500, $2,000 on yard signs from leftover stock of last year. And then like I went over in last year's video, we spent $9,000 on direct mail that went absolutely nowhere. So that was fun. But that's how, I would have divvied up $33,000. But we spent, like I said, 40. But yeah, so this year, we're going to do the exact same thing, right? So this year, our goal is going to be, let's come over here and make some more fun bubbles. How do I do that? There we go. So, this year, if we start over here, our goal is $600,000. Now, if our churn is as abysmal as it was this year, which I'm hoping it's not, but let's assume 60% retention, right? Of 294,000. So 294 times 0.6, that's going to be about 177,000 in recurring work. So we're going to bring that there. And why does it do that? Why does it do that? There we go. So that's going to be 177,000 in reinstalls. And then if we, what is that? 423. So we need to sell $423,000 in new work, right? So we're going to assume now with our new numbers, that's going to be 2,500. 20, and this is how we sell. This modeling is for selling new work. So say, why is that so small? That's really tiny. Let's make that bigger. There we go. Let's assume a $2,500. We're opening a new location in a much wealthier market. So we're being conservative. I'm presuming that, why is there another rectangle? I'm presuming that's going to be a lot bigger, larger this season, but 2,500 AOV. And we're just going to model what we need to sell in new stuff. So 423,000 divided by 2,500 is going to be 170 new installs. All right, 170 new installs. And you can just, I can just take this number right here and, multiply it by, I could go through the sales. So, let's do the sales thing. I think at this point, the leads, modeling the leads has been kind of pointless, to be totally honest, but because leads is like what is a lead? So if you say 170, and that's going to be give or take 320, in-person appointments with a 50% close ratio. Can you not do that? Can you just, there we go. Cool. It's going to be, 320 appointments, 60 working days, divided by 60. That's going to be, 5 appointments a day. Let's say 6. With 6, yeah, that makes sense. 6 appointments a day. Which, again, makes this entire thing seem significantly more digestible. Right? $423,000 in new work sounds like a lot. And it's let's just do 6 appointments a day. And close 3 of them, and close 7,500 a day, times 60, and that gives us 450 grand. Right? Easy. Not actually, but the math is. So if we come down here and then we say, okay, 170 new installs with our CAC last year of it's 470 or whatever, we got to spend $80,000 on marketing, or 70. It's absurd. 79,900 in marketing, right? Which, when you look at it, the grand, compared to your total revenue is, if everything pans out, is 13%. So that's not bad. All right, spend 80 grand, and as long as everything else, lines up, our AOV stays the same. Obviously you have to fulfill all of this, and now there's 2 sides that you have to model. You have to model acquisition, you have to model fulfillment, right? So if we produce $600,000, again with 60 working days, which you could say 50 to be conservative. Nope, 600, not 60. 600,000 divided by 50 working days is going to be, we're going to get rid of these. It's 12,000 a day. Now, depending on your crew, conservatively, you're probably going to want 2 crews, 2.5, 2 crews and a flex, if you're modeling at $5,000 a day. So then for the beginning of the season, that, hey, if we're, looking to do, and keep in mind too, that this isn't linear. This isn't steady. This isn't a flat line across. Hey, we're going to do $12,000 a day every day for 50 working days. That's not how it's going to work. It's going to, the beginning of the season, you're going to do 3 or 4 or 5 or 6,000. And then once things get really crazy, you're going to have some $20,000 or $30,000 days. So for something like this, you're probably going to want 2 or 3 crews. So if we're being conservative with everything. Let's say, all right, we want 3 crews, 3 guys on a crew. We want 9 guys. You want to account for a 30% churn. So all right, let's have a team of 10 to 12 people ready to go at the beginning of the season. Let's have that's what we need to do. That's top of funnel. How do we make sure we don't fuck ourselves later down the line? is we spend 80 grand on marketing. We hired 12 people to fulfill the work, and we make sure everything doesn't fall apart in between. Right. And then you also need supporting roles. Like, you're going to run across bottlenecks everywhere. Like, from every part of the funnel, you have, if we come up here, like, you'll run into bottlenecks for production, there we go. Production, like we just talked about, administrative bottlenecks. Like if you try to do this without an office manager, depending on your market, like if you're not in like LA, like I talked to a guy last year in LA who had I think it was like $130,000 residential install. Like if you're not there and you have to pump out, like 200 to 300 installs, without like any administrative support, like you're going to run into some bottlenecks there. You could probably sell this yourself, to be a little bit easier with a sales guy. You could run into marketing bottlenecks like sort of we did, where we just didn't have enough, top of funnel lead flow. So you kind of have to like model everything out and then adjust on the fly, because things will change, right? Like these things that you model out are not going to stay consistent to how you model them. So like once like you have to be very proactive, right? Like, and actually track all of this every single day, like on a day by day, like a week by week basis, to make sure you're on track for whatever you want to hit. And if something is falling behind for whatever reason, whether that's your close ratio, whether that's your average ticket, that you're on top of it and you're actually working on solving that bottleneck, so you don't look back at the end of the season, or you don't look back in 45 days and be like, man, like what the hell happened? Like, no, it's very clear what happened. You were just like closing your eyes, like just weren't paying attention. Like it's very obvious what was happening, right? Our CAC doubled, or, our AOV is down 40%. Like we're doing everything right up here, but we get to the actual sale, and Sally's out there selling, and she's just selling the base packages, and she's not upselling anything, right? Or she's quoting at $6 a foot on everything because she doesn't know how to use Google Earth properly. Like things like that you need to be proactive about. That if you aren't, will manifest later down the line, sort of like the end result. So like again, if you're going into something, going into the season, to the year, to the month, of the goal, model it out backwards. Have a spreadsheet where you can track KPIs and actively check if those KPIs are in line. All right, I've been yapping for 18 minutes. That's it for this video. I made a 50-page document on everything I learned last season, doing almost $300,000 in 2 months with Christmas Lights, the season prior, all of the seasons. At this point, we've done $1.1 million in home service sales. It's totally free. My only incentive for giving it to you is, in exchange, I get your email. So I will probably at some point have a page down there, if not immediately when I post this video, but click down there to get that free 50-page guide. It's filled with sauce. I had Manus export like 30 hours of material and reorganize it into some really, really cool stuff. So yeah, go click that, and I will see you guys in the next video.